The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly, dotted with countless stars and swirling galaxies. Among these celestial wonders, a grand space station hung in orbit around a neutral planet. This was the headquarters of the Galactic Council, where representatives from hundreds of alien species gathered to discuss matters of interstellar importance. Inside the main chamber, beings of all shapes and sizes filled the room. Some had tentacles, others had multiple eyes, and a few were even gaseous in form. They chatted in various languages, their translator devices working overtime to keep up with the diverse conversations. At the center of the chamber stood a holographic display, showing the latest addition to their galactic community, Earth. The human representative, a nervous-looking man named John Anderson, fidgeted in his seat as he waited for the session to begin. The council leader, a tall, slender alien with shimmering blue skin, called for order. "Today we welcome the humans to our galactic family," she announced, her voice echoing through the chamber. "They have achieved faster-than-light travel and made contact with our outpost in the Alpha Centauri system." Murmurs rippled through the audience. Some delegates nodded politely, while others whispered among themselves, clearly unimpressed. "Now," the council leader continued, "we shall hear from the human representative about their civilization and their military capabilities." She said the last part with a hint of amusement in her voice. John Anderson stood up, his legs shaky. He cleared his throat and began to speak. "Thank you, esteemed members of the Galactic Council. We humans are honored to join your ranks. Our civilization has made great strides in technology, medicine, and space exploration. As for our military," a loud snort interrupted him. All eyes turned to a bulky, reptilian alien in the corner. "Military," he scoffed. "You call those tin cans floating in your orbit military vessels?" Laughter erupted across the chamber. John's face turned red with embarrassment. Another delegate, a being composed entirely of crystalline structures, chimed in. "I've seen their ships. They still use chemical propulsion for their main drives." "How quaint." The laughter grew louder. John tried to continue, but his words were drowned out by the growing ridicule. A small, furry creature with large eyes spoke up next. "I heard they still use projectile weapons. Imagine that. Bits of metal propelled by explosions. It's like watching cavemen with clubs." The council leader raised a hand, trying to restore order, but even she couldn't hide her amused smile. In the back of the room, two alien observers watched the scene unfold. Unlike the others, they didn't join in the laughter. The taller one, with 4 arms and a head like a praying mantis, leaned down to his companion. "Don't you think we're underestimating them?" he whispered. "Humans have a reputation for being unpredictable." His companion, a blob-like creature with multiple eyes, gurgled softly. "Nonsense. Look at their technology. They're centuries behind even the least advanced council members. What could they possibly do to surprise us?" As the mockery continued, John Anderson stood at the podium, his face a mixture of humiliation and anger. He clenched his fists, thinking about the secret project back on Earth. If only they knew, he thought. If only they could see what humans were really capable of. Little did the Galactic Council know that back on Earth, in a hidden facility deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, a team of brilliant scientists and engineers were putting the finishing touches on a revolutionary battleship. This vessel would change everything, but for now, it remained Earth's best-kept secret. As John endured the laughter and jeers, he held onto this knowledge like a lifeline. He smiled inwardly, imagining the day when these arrogant aliens would eat their words. The humans might be the underdogs now, but they had a few tricks up their sleeves. The council session dragged on, with various members taking turns to poke fun at Earth's primitive technology and laughable military power. John stood there, taking it all in, biding his time. Soon, he thought, soon, they'll see what humans are truly made of. Little did the Galactic Council know that their mockery was only fueling humanity's determination. Back on Earth, millions watched the broadcast of this humiliating session, Instead of breaking their spirit, it ignited a fire. In labs, factories, and military bases around the globe, humans worked tirelessly, united in their goal to prove the galaxy wrong. The stage was set. The Galactic Council had unknowingly created the perfect underdog story, and humanity was ready to shock the stars. Back on Earth, the atmosphere was tense. News of the Galactic Council's mockery had spread like wildfire. In homes, offices, and public spaces, screens displayed the humiliating footage of John Anderson standing before the alien representatives, enduring their laughter and scorn. But instead of breaking humanity's spirit, this cosmic ridicule had the opposite effect. It ignited a fierce determination in the hearts of billions. In a top-secret facility deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, a group of Earth's brightest minds were hard at work. The cavernous underground hangar buzzed with activity. Scientists in lab coats hurried back and forth, their faces set in expressions of intense concentration. Engineers pored over complex diagrams and computer simulations, making last-minute adjustments to their designs. At the center of it all stood the fruit of their labor, the HSS Defiant. This massive battleship was unlike anything humanity had ever built before. Its sleek, dark hull seemed to absorb light, making it look like a slice of deep space itself. Strange, pulsing energy lines ran along its surface, hinting at the revolutionary technology within. Dr. Emily Chen, the lead scientist of the project, stood on a high platform, overlooking the bustling scene. Her eyes gleamed with pride as she watched her team at work. Beside her stood General Michael Torres, his military uniform crisp and his posture rigid. "How much longer, Dr. Chen?" the general asked, his voice tense with anticipation. Emily turned to him, a confident smile on her face. "We're in the final stages, General. The Defiant will be ready for her maiden voyage in less than a week." The general nodded, a rare smile breaking through his stern exterior. "Excellent. The President will be pleased to hear this." As they spoke, a young engineer rushed up to the platform, tablet in hand. "Dr. Chen, we've just run the final simulations on a quantum fold drive. The results are, well, see for yourself." Emily took the tablet, her eyes widening as she scrolled through the data. This is beyond our wildest expectations," she breathed. "What is it?" the general asked, leaning in to look. "The quantum fold drive," Emily explained, her voice filled with excitement. "It's not just faster than light travel. According to these simulations, we could potentially create localized space-time distortions. Do you understand what this means, General?" The general's brow furrowed. "In simple terms, Doctor." Emily's eyes sparkled. "It means we could bend space and time around the ship. We could appear and disappear at will, or even create temporal shields. The tactical advantages are, well, they're game-changing." The general's eyes widened as he grasped the implications. "My God," he whispered, "with this technology, we could stand up to any alien fleet, no matter how advanced." As the excitement of this new discovery rippled through the facility, in another part of the world, a different kind of preparation was underway. In a secure military base, John Anderson stood before a group of Earth's top pilots. These men and women had been handpicked from every nation, chosen for their skills, their courage, and their unwavering commitment to humanity's cause. "Ladies and gentlemen," John began, his voice strong and confident, a far cry from his nervous demeanor at the Galactic Council. "You've been chosen for a mission that will change the course of human history. In a few days, you'll be the first to pilot the most advanced ship ever built by human hands." He paused, looking each pilot in the eye. "The aliens out there think we're a joke. They laugh at our technology, mock our capabilities. But they have no idea what we're capable of when we work together." A holographic image of the Defiant appeared behind him. Gasps and murmurs of awe filled the room. "This," John said, gesturing to the image, "is the HS Defiant. And with it, we're going to show the galaxy that humanity is a force to be reckoned with." The room erupted in cheers and applause. The energy was electric, filled with a mixture of excitement and fierce determination. As the preparations continued around the globe, a sense of anticipation built. Humanity stood on the brink of a new era. Soon, very soon, the Galactic Council would learn that underestimating humans was the biggest mistake they could have made. The stage was set. The Defiant was almost ready, and humanity was prepared to fight for its place among the stars. The day had finally arrived. Earth's secret weapon, the HSS Defiant, was ready to be unveiled to the galaxy. The massive underground hangar buzzed with nervous energy as final preparations were made. Dr. Emily Chen stood before the sleek battleship, her heart racing with a mixture of pride and anxiety. She turned to the assembled crew, a determined look in her eyes. "This is it, everyone. Everything we've worked for comes down to this moment." Captain Sarah Martinez, the chosen commander of the Defiant, stepped forward. Her crisp uniform and confident stance inspired trust in all who saw her. "We won't let you down, Dr. Chen. We won't let humanity down." As the crew boarded the ship, John Anderson prepared for another appearance before the Galactic Council. This time, however, things would be different. Miles above the Earth's surface, a massive alien ship appeared. It belonged to the Zorn, one of the most militant species in the galaxy. Known for their aggressive expansion and disdain for lesser races, they had decided that Earth would make an easy conquest. Alarms blared in military bases around the world. The Zorn's arrival was unexpected, but not entirely surprising. Earth's leaders had anticipated that some alien race might try to take advantage of humanity's perceived weakness. In the Galactic Council chambers, chaos erupted as news of the Zorn's move spread. The council leader called for emergency action, but debates broke out immediately. Some wanted to intervene, while others argued that Earth wasn't worth the risk of confronting the Zorn. Amidst the uproar, John Anderson calmly approached the central podium. The room fell silent as all eyes turned to the human representative. "Esteemed members of the council," John began, his voice steady and confident, "Earth doesn't need your help. We are fully capable of defending ourselves." Laughter and scoffs filled the chamber. The reptilian alien who had mocked Earth before spoke up. "With what? Your primitive weapons. The Zorn will crush you in minutes." John smiled, a glint in his eye. "I think it's time we showed you what humans are truly capable of." With that, he pressed a button on his wrist device. The large screen behind him came to life, showing a live feed from Earth. The Zorn battleship loomed over the planet, its weapons charging. Suddenly, a section of the Pacific Ocean began to churn and bubble. The council members watched in stunned silence as the water parted, revealing a massive underground hangar. From the depths rose the HSS Defiant, its dark hull gleaming in the sunlight. It was smaller than the Zorn ship, but radiated an aura of advanced technology that made even the most seasoned council members gasp. "Impossible," whispered the crystalline being, all of its facets shimmering in shock. The Defiant shot into the sky with incredible speed, reaching the Zorn ship in seconds. The alien vessel fired its main weapons, but the blasts seemed to bend around the Earth ship, never touching it. Captain Martinez's voice came over the communication channels, broadcasted to both the Zorn and the Galactic Council. "This is Captain Sarah Martinez of the HSS Defiant. You are violating Earth's sovereign space. Withdraw immediately, or we will be forced to defend ourselves." The Zorn commander's harsh laughter filled the airwaves. "Puny humans, your tricks don't scare us. Prepare to be annihilated." The Zorn ship fired again, this time with all its weapons. Everyone watching expected to see the Defiant destroyed. Instead, the Earth ship simply vanished, reappearing behind the Zorn vessel an instant later. Before the alien ship could react, the Defiant fired a single concentrated beam of energy. The beam cut through the Zorn's shields like they weren't even there, slicing the massive ship in half. As the Zorn ship exploded in a spectacular display, silence fell over the Galactic Council chamber. Every alien present stared at the screen in utter disbelief. John Anderson's voice broke the silence. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, humanity is no longer the primitive species you once mocked. We come in peace and hope to work alongside you all. But make no mistake, we will defend ourselves if threatened. He paused, looking around the room at the shocked faces. Now then, shall we renegotiate the terms of Earth's membership in the galactic community? As the implications of what they'd just witnessed sank in, the council members realized that the balance of power in the galaxy had just shifted dramatically. Humanity, it seemed, was full of surprises. And this was just the beginning. The aftermath of the Defiant's debuts sent shockwaves through the galaxy. In the days following the confrontation with the Zorn, the Galactic Council chambers were abuzz with frantic activity. Emergency sessions were called, alliances were questioned, and the balance of power that had stood for millennia began to crumble. On Earth, celebrations erupted across the globe. Humans, once mocked and belittled by the galactic community, now stood tall and proud. The streets were filled with joyous crowds, waving flags and chanting slogans of unity and strength. But amidst the celebration, Earth's leaders knew that their work was far from over. In a secure underground facility, President Elena Rodriguez met with her top advisors, including John Anderson, Dr. Emily Chen, and General Torres. "The galaxy's eyes are on us now," President Rodriguez said, her voice firm. "We need to decide our next move carefully." John Anderson nodded, his expression serious. "The Council is in chaos. Some species are calling for immediate action against us, fearing we'll become the new tyrants of the galaxy. Others are seeking alliances, hoping to benefit from our technology." Dr. Chen cleared her throat. "Speaking of technology, Madam President, we've only scratched the surface of what the Defiant can do. With more research, we could revolutionize not just warfare, but space travel, energy production, even the nature of reality itself." General Torres leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "We need to be cautious. The Zorn were just the beginning. Other, more powerful races might see us as a threat now. We should prepare for potential conflicts." As they debated Earth's future, light years away, other forces were moving. On the desert planet of Sarax, homeworld of the reptilian species that had once mocked humanity, an emergency council was in session. High War Master Zix, his scales shimmering with anger, addressed the gathered leaders. "The humans have made fools of us all. We cannot allow this insult to stand. I say we gather our fleets and crush them before they grow too powerful." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber, but one voice spoke out in opposition. It belonged to Vex, a young scientist who had always been fascinated by human culture. "Esteemed leaders," Vex said, her voice trembling slightly, "perhaps we're approaching this the wrong way. The humans have shown incredible ingenuity. Instead of fighting them, we could learn from them. An alliance could benefit us all." Zix sneered at the suggestion. "Alliance? With those primitives? Never." But Vex's words had planted a seed of doubt in some minds. The debate raged on, mirroring similar discussions happening across the galaxy. Meanwhile, aboard the Defiant, Captain Sarah Martinez and her crew were on high alert. They patrolled the edges of Earth's solar system, watchful for any signs of hostile activity. In the ship's advanced sensor room, Lieutenant Raj Patel suddenly straightened in his chair. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange. Multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel, but their energy signatures are like nothing I've ever seen before." Captain Martinez frowned. "Put it on the main screen." The display flickered to life, showing a group of sleek, almost organic-looking ships. They moved with impossible grace, seeming to bend the very fabric of space around them. "Are they hostile?" Martins asked, her hand hovering over the weapon controls. Before Raj could answer, a transmission came through. The voice that spoke was unlike anything they had ever heard, both beautiful and terrifying in its alienness. "People of Earth," the voice said, "we have watched your rise with great interest. You have upset the balance of power in this galaxy, and that cannot be ignored. We are the Eldari, the oldest race in the universe, and we have come to judge whether you are worthy of the power you now wield." The crew of the Defiant exchanged nervous glances. They had faced mockery. They had faced aggression. But this was something entirely new. Captain Martinez took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. "This is Captain Sarah Martins of the HSS Defiant. We are ready to represent humanity. What are the terms of your judgment?" As the Eldari ships drew closer, the fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. The true test of humanity was about to begin. The tension aboard the HSS Defiant was palpable as Captain Sarah Martinez and her crew faced the ancient Eldari ships. The sleek, otherworldly vessels seemed to shimmer and shift, as if they weren't entirely part of this reality. "Terms of judgment." The Eldari voice echoed through the communication system. "It's simple. You will face 3 trials. Your performance will determine not just your fate, but the fate of all younger races in the galaxy." Captain Martinez exchanged glances with her senior officers. "We accept your challenge," she said firmly. "What is our first trial?" A soft hum filled the air, and suddenly, the Defiant was enveloped in a strange, shimmering field. "Your first trial is one of wisdom," the Eldari announced. "You have 1 hour to solve the cosmic paradox. Your ship's systems will guide you." As the Eldari ships retreated to a safe distance, the crew of the Defiant scrambled to understand their task. The main computer screen lit up with a complex series of equations and diagrams, representing an age-old problem that had puzzled the greatest minds in the galaxy for eons. Dr. Emily Chen, who had insisted on joining this mission, stepped forward. Her eyes scanned the information rapidly. "It's a problem of universal constants," she muttered. "The solution lies in understanding how different laws of physics interact across dimensions." For the next hour, the bridge of the Defiant was a flurry of activity. Dr. Chen led a team of the ship's brightest minds, their fingers flying over holographic keyboards as they worked through the problem. Captain Martinez paced nervously, knowing that their every move was being watched and judged. With just minutes to spare, Dr. Chen let out a triumphant cry. "We've got it. The key is in the quantum entanglement of space-time itself." As the last seconds ticked away, they submitted their solution. There was a moment of tense silence. Then the Eldari voice returned. "Impressive. You have passed the first trial. Prepare for the second." Before anyone could celebrate, the Defiant shuddered. Outside, the starfield began to warp and twist. "Your second trial is one of courage," the Eldari announced. "Navigate the maze of shattered space. Reach the other side, and you will have passed." Captain Martinez took her seat, gripping the arms of her chair. "Battle stations, everyone. This is what we've trained for." The maze of shattered space was unlike anything they had ever encountered. Reality itself seemed to break down around them. Stars appeared and disappeared randomly. Spatial rifts threatened to tear the ship apart, and gravitational forces pulled them in all directions. Lieutenant Raj Patel, at the helm, gritted his teeth as he maneuvered the ship. "The normal laws of physics don't apply here, Captain," he reported. "I'm having to rewrite our navigation protocols on the fly." For hours, the Defiant twisted and turned through the impossible space. The crew worked tirelessly, their training and the ship's advanced technology pushed to the limit. Several times, they narrowly avoided disaster, the ship's hull groaning under the strain. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they burst through a final spatial rift. The normal starfield reappeared around them, and a collective sigh of relief echoed through the ship. "Well done," the Eldari voice said, a note of surprise evident. "You have passed the second trial. But do not celebrate yet. The final trial awaits, and it is the most difficult of all." The Eldari ships reappeared, surrounding the Defiant in a tight formation. "Your final trial is one of heart," the voice announced. "You must prove that you are worthy of the power you wield. Show us that you understand the responsibility that comes with your advancement." Captain Martinez stood, her face set with determination. "We're ready," she said. "Humanity has come too far to fail now." As the Eldari prepared to issue their final challenge, the crew of the Defiant steeled themselves. They had faced mockery, overcome aggression, solved an ancient paradox, and navigated the impossible. Now, they would have to prove the true worth of humanity. The fate of Earth, and indeed the entire galaxy, rested on what would happen next. The final trial was about to begin, and everything hung in the balance. The crew of the HSS Defiant stood ready, their hearts pounding as they awaited the Eldari's final trial. The ancient alien ships surrounded them, their otherworldly presence a constant reminder of the high stakes they faced. "Your final trial," the Eldari voice echoed through the ship, "is to prove your compassion and wisdom. Before you, we will create a simulation of a planet in crisis. You must decide how to save it. But be warned, every choice has consequences." Suddenly, a holographic projection filled the bridge. It showed a planet much like Earth, but with 2 moons and purple oceans. The planet was shaking, its core unstable and on the verge of collapse. "This is Kylox," the Eldari explained. "Its core will explode in 1 hour, destroying the planet and killing its 10 billion inhabitants. You have the power to save them, but how you choose to do so will determine if you pass this trial." Captain Sarah Martinez looked at her crew, then back at the hologram. "What are our options?" she asked. 3 choices appeared before them. 1. Use the Defiant's advanced technology to stabilize the planet's core, saving everyone but revealing Earth's most powerful secrets to the galaxy. 2. Evacuate as many people as possible in the time given, knowing millions would be left behind. 3. Use the ship's experimental time dilation field to slow down time on the planet, giving its people years to develop their own solution. The bridge erupted in debate. Lieutenant Raj Patel argued for the first option. "We have the power to save everyone. Isn't that worth any cost?" But Dr. Emily Chen disagreed. "If we reveal our technology, we might save this planet, but put Earth at risk. The evacuation is safer." Commander Rodriguez, the ship's tactical officer, proposed the third option. "We should give them a chance to save themselves. It's the most ethical choice." As the debate raged on, Captain Martinez stood silent, weighing each option carefully. With only minutes left, she made her decision. "We're going with option 3, she announced. "Prepare the time dilation field." The crew sprang into action. The Defiant moved into position above Xylox, its advanced systems humming to life. As the planet's core reached critical levels, the ship activated its experimental technology. A shimmering field enveloped Xylox. On the bridge's screens, they watched as time on the planet slowed to a crawl. What was seconds for the Defiant became years for the people of Xylox. "Now we wait," Captain Martinez said, her voice tense. Hours passed on the Defiant, equating to decades on Xylox. The crew watched in awe as the planet's civilization advanced rapidly, driven by the urgency of their situation. New technologies were developed, massive projects undertaken. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the core of Xylox stabilized. The planet's people had done it. They had saved themselves. As the time dilation field faded, the Eldari ships moved closer. "An interesting choice," the alien voice said. "You had the power to save them directly, yet you chose to give them the opportunity to save themselves. Why?" Captain Martinez stood tall as she responded. "Because true wisdom isn't about having all the answers. It's about giving others the chance to find their own solutions. We believe that every civilization has the right to shape its own destiny." There was a long pause. The crew of the Defiant held their breath, waiting for the Eldari's judgment. Finally, the voice spoke again. "Humanity has passed our trials. You have shown intelligence, courage, and most importantly, wisdom beyond your years. We recognize Earth as a mature civilization, worthy of its place among the stars." A collective cheer erupted on the bridge. They had done it. Humanity had proven itself to the oldest race in the galaxy. As the Eldari ships prepared to depart, their leader had one final message. Remember this day, humans. You have earned your place, but great power comes with great responsibility. The galaxy will be watching. With that, the ancient ships vanished, leaving the crew of the Defiant to contemplate their victory and the new era that lay ahead for humanity. Captain Martinez looked at her crew, a mixture of pride and determination in her eyes. "Let's go home," she said. "We have a lot to tell Earth. Our journey among the stars is just beginning." As the Defiant set course for home, the crew knew that everything had changed. Humanity was no longer the newcomer, the underdog. They were now a recognized power in the galaxy, ready to face whatever challenges the universe had in store. The return of the HSS Defiant to Earth was met with a hero's welcome. As the ship descended through the atmosphere, escorted by a fleet of smaller craft, millions of people around the world watched in awe. The once mocked humans had not only stood up to the galaxy's powers, but had also earned the respect of its oldest civilization. In New York City, the newly expanded United Nations Galactic Assembly convened for an emergency session. Representatives from every nation on Earth, along with a handful of alien observers, filled the Grand Hall. The air buzzed with excitement and anticipation. Captain Sarah Martinez, Dr. Emily Chen, and the key members of the Defiant's crew stood on a podium, facing the assembly. President Elena Rodriguez stepped up to the microphone, her face beaming with pride. "Today," she began, her voice echoing through the hall and across global broadcasts, "we mark the beginning of a new era for humanity. Our brave explorers have faced unimaginable challenges and emerged victorious. They have proven to the galaxy, and to ourselves, that humanity is ready for its place among the stars." As applause thundered through the hall, screens lit up behind the podium. They showed images from the Defiant's journey, the confrontation with the Zorn, the meeting with the Eldari, and glimpses of the incredible trials they had faced. Captain Martinez stepped forward to speak. "The galaxy is vast and full of wonders," she said, her voice steady and clear. "But it's also full of challenges. We've earned our place, but now the real work begins." Dr. Chen joined her, adding, "The technology we've developed, the knowledge we've gained, it has the potential to transform not just our world, but countless others. We have a responsibility to use it wisely." In the following hours, Earth's leaders laid out plans for the future. New departments were established to handle interstellar relations. Scientific institutions worldwide were tasked with studying and developing the revolutionary technologies from the Defiant. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. As news of Earth's new status spread, reactions from other galactic civilizations poured in. Some, like the crystalline beings who had once mocked humanity, now sought alliances. Others, threatened by the rapid rise of this young species, began to posture aggressively. John Anderson, now appointed as Earth's first galactic ambassador, addressed these concerns in his speech to the assembly. "We come in peace, seeking friendship and cooperation," he declared. "But let it be known that we will stand firm in defense of our world and our principles." As the days passed, changes swept across the globe. Countries that had long been at odds now found common ground in the face of galactic challenges. A new sense of unity emerged as humans everywhere realized they were part of something much bigger than national borders. In schools, curriculums were rapidly updated to include galactic history and xenobiology. Children gazed at the stars with new wonder, dreaming not just of being astronauts, but of being explorers of distant worlds. The HSS Defiant, now a symbol of human achievement, was prepared for its next mission. This time, it would lead a fleet of new ships, built with the advanced technology they had developed. Their goal: to explore, to learn, and to represent humanity in the vast galactic community. As the Defiant and its fleet prepared for launch, Captain Martinez stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. Her crew, Both old and new members manned their stations with a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Captain," Lieutenant Raj Patel called from his console, "we're receiving a transmission." It's from the Galactic Council." Martinez took a deep breath. "On screen," she ordered. The face that appeared was alien, yet its expression was unmistakably one of respect. "Captain Martinez," the Council representative said, "on behalf of the Galactic Council, we extend an invitation to Earth. We would be honored if you would take your place among us, not as a novice race, but as full members of the galactic community." A cheer went up from the crew. Martinez smiled, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. "We accept," she said simply. As the transmission ended, Martinez turned to her crew. "Well," she said, her eyes twinkling with excitement, "it looks like we have a new destination. Helm, set a course for the Galactic Council headquarters. Let's show them what humanity can do." The Defiant's engines hummed to life, and with a flash of its quantum-fold drive, the ship disappeared into the starry depths. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning.